Most people tried to escape Auschwitz, but one man asked to go in. His name was Witold Pilecki, and his mission to enter one of the most horrifying places on earth and fight back from the inside. You're about to find out the incredible true story of the man who volunteered for Auschwitz. But who was Witold Pilecki? What made him volunteer for such a dangerous mission? And what did he actually find inside Auschwitz? And what happened to him after he escaped? Disguised with a fake identity, he allowed himself to be captured by the Nazis during a street roundup. He was sent to Auschwitz under the name Tomasz Surafowski. What he found inside was beyond anything the world had imagined. Witold Pilecki was a Polish army officer and a member of the underground resistance. He hid them in cigarette packets and books, and even in the hollowed-out shoes. They didn't believe the reports coming out of Auschwitz. They planned a series of acts of sabotage and defiance. He managed to get in touch with some friends from the Polish resistance. They helped him, and 2 others, break out of the camp. They dug a tunnel under the barbed wire fence and made it to freedom. They staged protests, riots, and hunger strikes. But it wasn't enough. The Nazis were too powerful, or if they did, they didn't think it was their problem. His story has finally been told through books, films, and declassified documents. He showed that even in the darkest places, courage can survive. And one man can make history. He's considered one of the bravest men of the 20th century. A soldier, a spy, a witness, a martyr for the truth. He managed to get them past the guards and into the hands of the Polish resistance, who then passed them on to the Allies. In 1940, when the Nazis invaded Poland, rumors of concentration camps were spreading. But no one knew what was really happening inside Auschwitz, and the British government assumed that Hitler wouldn't commit atrocities on his own people. They didn't want to believe the unimaginable had happened, so Witold volunteered for a suicide mission to infiltrate the camp and report what he saw. From there, Pilecki made his way to Warsaw, where he met up with the Polish resistance. He gave them the eyewitness reports he'd been writing, and they were sent to London. He wrote about the gas chambers and the crematoria, the killings, the torture, the inhumane conditions. Pilecki continued to resist, this time against the communist regime. In 1947, he was arrested, tortured, and put on trial. He was charged with treason and spying for the Americans and sentenced to death. He was executed in 1948 at the age of 39. His name was erased from history for decades, but it was hard to get the information out. The Nazis had the camp surrounded by barbed wire fences. It was the terrifying realization that the world might not want to hear the truth, and guarded by armed soldiers. Anyone caught trying to leave without permission was shot. He infiltrated the camp when it was still called Vernichtungslager II and was located just outside of Auschwitz. He organized a secret resistance network inside the camp. He helped prisoners escape and provided them with food and medicine. He even led a group of soldiers in an attempt to overthrow the Nazi regime. He saw mass killings, starvation, torture, executions, and the slow, systematic destruction of human life. The Nazis had created a place where every single person was treated like an animal. Many of the prisoners were forced to work long hours in terrible conditions. If they couldn't keep up, they were sent to the gas chambers straight away. Starvation was rampant in the camp. People were so hungry they resorted to eating rats. It was a horrifying place. But despite all this, Pilecki didn't just survive. Meanwhile, he also smuggled out reports from the camp, the first eyewitness accounts of the Holocaust ever. But somehow, Pilecki managed to smuggle out his reports. He also planned a full-scale rebellion in the camp, but sadly, help from the Allies never came. So Pilecki and his fellow prisoners were on their own. They fought back in the only way they could. After nearly 3 years in Auschwitz, Pilecki decided he had to escape. It was incredibly dangerous, but they managed to get to a nearby village and then to Sadly, many leaders didn't believe them. Winston Churchill said the Poles had a habit of exaggeration. So, once again, Pilecki found himself in a terrifying situation. But this time, it was a different kind of terrifying. In 1947, Poland fell under Soviet control. Today, Witold Pilecki is honored as a hero in Poland. Pilecki walked willingly into a death camp, not to die, but to fight. What do you think? Would you have the courage to do what he did? Let me know in the comments below.